Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the CD guy, Johnny Z here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel, and today I'm going to share my thoughts on the Kiss Dress to Kill 50th Anniversary Deluxe Box Set. Dress to Kill celebrates 50 years with a specially tailored Super Deluxe 5 CD and Blu-ray audio box set rocking 107 total tracks with 78 unreleased tracks. The original album is newly remastered by Bernie Grunman from the 1975 stereo analog master tapes on CD1. Disc 2 showcases 23 demos, alternate mixes, and instrumental outtakes. And then, of course, from the 1975 Dress to Kill tour comes 2 full concerts, Cobo Arena in Detroit, Michigan on May 16th, and RKO Orpheum Theater in Davenport, Iowa on July 20th. Specifically, that's the first show. Both newly mixed by legendary producer and engineer Eddie Kramer from the original multi-track analog tapes, as Kiss performed in 1975, so there's no overdubs here. The Blu-ray audio disc features Dress to Kill, newly mixed by David Frangione from the original multi-track analog tapes in Dolby Atmos, along with the newly remastered 1975 stereo mix, plus 2 1975 promo videos for Come On and Love Me and Rock and Roll All Night, newly transferred from the 16mm film reel in HD. Also, you have the Dress to Kill since 1975 t-shirt featuring the iconic album cover and Kiss logo screen printed on the front, with the track listing on the back, and of course, personnel on this record. You have the original classic Kiss lineup here of Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss. Let's kick things off here, going disc to disc here into analyzing the contents of this box set. And when I say disc, disc 1, disc 2, I'm talking specifically about the CD version, the 5 CD version. There is, of course, an 8 LP version, but I'm a CD guy, so we're talking about the CD version here, but it's all the same stuff. CD number 1 here is the new, badly needed remaster by Bernie Grunman, and, you guys can see the track listing right over here. Room Service, Two-Timer, Ladies in Waiting, Getaway, Rock Bottom, Come On and Love Me, Anything for My Baby, She, Love for All I Can, and Rock and Roll All Night. And like I said, really badly needed. It's an entire album is Dress to Kill, loaded with great deep cuts. A lot more than just Rock and Roll All Night. As a matter of fact, it's got my favorite Kiss song of all time, She. But the biggest issue was the original production on this record. The production sounded flatter than cardboard and just lifeless, and so this new remaster is the best this album has ever sounded, in my opinion. Gene's bass feels much more pronounced, and the record feels like it has a whole new, lease on life to it. It's much more, no pun intended, but alive, and the vibe of the record is more energetic and radiant. It's not nearly as flat sounding or, cheaply produced as it has in the past, and that was one of my favorite aspects of this new box set. I think one of the most important things, too, that they get Dress to Kill right, and they did here. The album sounds great. CD2 is all instrumental outtakes, alternate mixes, and demos. You can see the track listing right over here, and this is going to be a lot of repetition, so I apologize in advance. Kicking things off here with Mistake, studio demo, Rock and Roll All Night, studio demo, Anything for My Baby, studio demo, Burning Up with Fever, studio demo, Rock and Roll All Night, studio demo, party version, Rock and Roll All Night, studio demo, alternate vocal take, Room Service, extended outtake, Two-Timer, alternate mix, Ladies in Waiting, alternate ending, Come On and Love Me, alternate mix, Anything for My Baby, alternate mix, Love for All I Can, alternate mix, Two-Timer, extended alternate mix, Anything for My Baby, extended alternate mix, Rock and Roll All Night, super fast outtake, Room Service, instrumental outtake, Two-Timer, instrumental outtake, Getaway, instrumental outtake, Rock Bottom, instrumental outtake, Anything for My Baby, instrumental extended outtake, She, instrumental extended outtake, Love for All I Can, instrumental outtake, and Rock and Roll All Night, instrumental outtake. So, that was a lot to say, but, it's always very cool to, hear these demos and studio outtakes to kind of immerse yourself in the entire creative process of the record, and these are from Larrabee Sound and Electric Lady Studios sessions, including the unreleased tracks Mistake and Burning Up with Fever. The latter, of course, would appear on Gene's 1978 solo album, but this version sounds much better. It sounds much more Kiss. You got some great guitar work here by Ace Frehley. Really funky track, right? Got a great guitar riff here, powerful vocals by Gene, and honestly, could have been a great fit on Dress to Kill. Next up here on discs 3 and 4, you have Live in Detroit, Michigan at the Cobo Arena on May 16th, 1975, and CD3 kicks off here with Rock Bottom, Strutter, Nothing to Lose, Two-Timer, Let Me Know, Got to Choose, She, an Ace Frehley guitar solo, Parasite, and Cold Gin. On to disc 4 with 100,000 Years, a Peter Criss drum solo, and continuing 100,000 Years, Let Me Go, Rock and Roll, Come On and Love Me, Firehouse, Deuce, Rock and Roll All Night, and Black Diamond to close out the set. Really great set list, but the problem here is that for those choosing to stream the box set is that the Kobo show cuts off after Cold Gin. So all of Disc 4 is missing right now on streaming services, which really sucks. And I hope it's just a streaming error and that they fix it and that wasn't done on purpose as some sort of an extra incentive to go out and buy the physical copy of the box set. But I certainly wouldn't put it past KISS or Pop House Entertainment to do that. So basically what you're getting right now on streaming is instead of 2 full shows, you're getting 1.5. And as for that second show on CD5 here, live in Davenport, Iowa, at the RKO Orpheum Theater on July 20th, 1975. You see the track list right over here. I should say the set list for this show. Deuce, Strutter, Got to Choose, Hotter Than Hell, Firehouse, She, Ace Frehley guitar solo, Nothing to Lose, Come On and Love Me, 100,000 Years, a Peter Criss drum solo, and then continuing 100,000 Years again, Black Diamond, Cold Gin, and Rock and Roll All Night. And this was the first show of the day. Parts of it are also used on KISS Alive, and this was KISS in their prime here. Before all the drama, they were still young and hungry, and their live sets from this time reflect that perfectly. And this concert is complete. They fit it all on one disc here, and it's very cool to hear the actual shows behind KISS Alive, without all the smoke and mirrors done in the studio. Of course, KISS Alive was heavily altered in the studio, right? KISS re-recorded parts of the album at Electric Lady Studios in August, and only Peter Criss's drum tracks remained untouched. So that's always kind of, spoiled part of KISS Alive for me to know that it's not really 100% live, but this feels more like a genuine stripped down, almost bootleg quality concert here, but the sound quality is much better. Feels like a genuine live KISS experience from 1975. All in all, I think this box set does a great job of capturing this specific era of KISS between, the Dress to Kill demos and outtakes and the concerts from this time period that would go on to be a part of Alive, except this time we get the actual concerts untampered, not messed with as much. And, I just hope they fix the streaming error for the Kobo show. Very importantly, Dress to Kill sounds so much better on this new remaster as well. And so, how much does this cost? Well, the CD version is what I've been discussing, is selling on the KISS store for $287, and it's $400 for the vinyl version. And listen, I can rant about box set prices until I'm blue in the face. I'm sure I will again. I've done it a lot in the past. But, this just seems to be the going rate for box sets these days, like it or not. And I actually think this is one of the better KISS box sets they've released recently. But is it worth nearly $300 for the CD version? That's up to you. The prices tend to vary based on where you buy them. For example, the Deluxe Creatures of the Night box set is still priced on the KISS store for $300, or on Amazon it's selling for $179. So, you have to do your homework with these box sets, especially in such an oversaturated market these days. Speaking of oversaturation, I'm honestly surprised that KISS seemed to be passing up on the opportunity to make 2 anniversary box sets this year for both Alive and Dress to Kill. You have 2 of the 4 concerts that contribute to Alive on this box set, and a little surprised they didn't go in that direction, especially since, I think Alive 50th anniversary would probably have a little bit more name recognition than Dress to Kill, but still, it's all for the same target audience, and it's just, historically, it's very rare you see KISS pass up the chance to sell 2 different products. So that wraps up this review here of the new KISS 50th anniversary Dress to Kill Deluxe Edition box set. I'm still deciding whether or not to buy a copy. I listened to the streaming services version, which has all the same stuff, except the Kobo show is unfortunately cut in half, which I hope they fix that, but, I'm still deciding whether or not to purchase this. If I do, I probably will wait until after the holidays when prices drop a bit, but, yeah, really pleased with this. Think it's the best KISS box set in a long time, and, I really enjoy the contents of it. The outtakes are really cool, the live stuff is great, and the remaster, maybe most importantly, sounds fantastic, sounds much better than the original, so a big improvement there in my opinion. Wanted to share my thoughts real quick on the new box set here. Got to listen to it this morning. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, turn on the bell for notifications so you don't miss a new upload, and let me know down in the comment section below what are your thoughts on the Dress to Kill box set, how do you think it sounds, what are your thoughts on the live material, things of that nature. I want to hear from you. And until next time, it's the CD guy, Johnny Z, signing off. Take care, everybody.